Hello and welcome to this screencast. I'm going to walk you through the process of contributing a blog post to the HiER site. The first thing that you'll want to check and make sure of before you proceed is that you're logged in, which you can confirm just by looking at the login bar here on the home page. And second, you'll want to navigate to the contribute section of the site. And once we're there, we're going to create content, and specifically we're going to create a blog post. Now, as you can see, there isn't that much to this form here. We have the title, which we can just add a title now. I'm just going to call it a sample blog post. And here's the body of our blog post. Now this is where we would enter all our text, and I have just grabbed some lorem ipsum here, just fake text, and I'm just going to paste that in there, and you can do that too if you just want to cut and paste from somewhere else. Cutting and pasting from a document like Word might not be what you want to do because you'll be carrying over all the formatting from Word, including the font and any of the other sort of Word formatting specific information that you may not really want to carry over to the site, but that's your decision. I mean, you can choose to do that here, but it doesn't lend for a very uniform look to the site if you choose to do so. Anyway, now one thing that you'll probably want to do is include images in your blog post, and there are a couple of ways that we can do that. One of them is through uploading file attachments, and I'll just demonstrate how to do that here. So I'm just going to go to the desktop images, desktop pictures, and I'm just going to, and you can hit your little thumbnail browser there to see what images you've got here in your directory. So let's say I pick this one just for the purposes of illustration, and then we attach and wait while that uploads. Now you don't necessarily want to list this because that will show up as an attachment to your blog post, so you will want to deselect the check under list, and now you can see that underneath your the name of the file that you've just uploaded is a URL that takes you to where that's now being stored on the HiER site. So I'm just going to copy that. You just highlight it with your mouse and Command-C or Control-C on a PC, I'm Command-C on the Mac, to copy that text. And then we come up here and let's say we want to have that image right to the left of this text that we've just typed. So we've got the URL for the image copied, it's in our buffer. And now we want to select this insert image or insert/edit image icon here. And that pops up this dialog. And now we can Command-V or Control-V on the PC to paste that URL for the image. And you know, there's some advanced formatting options here, but I'm not going to go into those. You could explore those if you want. There are different options here for various things. But I'm just going to say OK. And now, oh my goodness, look how big that is. So there are facilities to scale down this image, which is obviously looking too huge for our purposes. And you know, this may happen to you too, so it's good that this is happening to me for the purposes of illustration here. Now I'm just grabbing what I'm doing is I'm trying to grab the handle of this image to resize it. As you can see, it's a bit of a struggle because the image is so very large. Oh, here we go. Here's a sort of shortcut to it. So if you just want to see what I did there was I highlighted the image and then I clicked on this Insert Edit Image button again, and we got back this dialog for our image. So why don't we just say that we want the width of this to be, I don't know, 300. And you see this little lock here? That's locking or constraining the aspect ratio of the image so that it will scale proportionally. So you just want to leave that alone. I think it'll be on by default. And now we select OK. And sure enough, there's our image. It has been scaled down. Now, one of the problems here, obviously, is that the text is now not sort of floating around the image the way we would like, like you see in a magazine. So what we want to do is highlight the image again. You can see that it's highlighted when you click on it. These handles appear around it. And select Style. And we have a number of preloaded styles for the site. And Image on Left. And now that has put a nice little border around the image to start with. And it is also floating our text around it. So how nice is that? Now, I'm going to illustrate a second way that you can embed images in a blog post. And so the first way that we showed was browsing your file system here, attaching an image, clicking this list so that it's off, and then copying the URL beneath and then pasting it in. So that was one process. Now, you can get a image URL from another image hosting service, like, say, Flickr. So let's just quickly go to Flickr here, and I don't know, let's just type in historical image. See if we can get something appropriate. And let's just pick this one. And this here, I think, on Flickr is, oh no, it's a view in Lightbox. I was going to try and find the place where you can get different sizes of the image. Oh yes, here we go. Under Actions, it's View All Sizes. So we'd probably want a small version of this image. And to get the image URL here at Flickr, you can Control-click and view the image, or you can copy the image location right now. But I'm just going to view the image to show you that you can browse through, and now this URL that's in the location bar is the URL for the image as it's hosted at Flickr. And you can Command-C to copy, or Control-C on a PC, navigate back to our back to our blog post here, and I'm going to try pasting this image on the side here. Actually, again, we'll just put it at the beginning of this paragraph, and select the Insert Edit Image button. And now we can Command-V or Control-V to paste that URL for our image at Flickr. That was sitting there in our buffer. We don't have to resize it because we've selected an image that was medium, I think, in size. So there it is, but again, we're not satisfied because it's to the left and the text isn't floating around it. Let's try floating it, and again, so if we pick Style and Image on the right now, we can float it on the other side. So this is a way that we can sort of stagger our images throughout the text. That might add a little visual interest. And there we go. So we have a blog post, and I have now shown you how to embed images through two means, one through a hosted service such as Flickr, and the other just by uploading the image directly to the site and using the URL that we find in the attachment dialog down below here. Okay, so now we have that. Now another thing to be aware of in these blog posts is at some point when they're displayed on the blog page on the site, you're going to want to cut them off. Have a teaser section for the blog. And so I'm just going to say that to preview, sort of a first section of this post and then maybe let the reader decide to read more, that this point where I've got the cursor flashing there, where I've tapped and the cursor now is, I'm saying that's going to be a good place to define the extent of our so-called teaser. And now we can go up here and select the teaser break, and you'll see it just inserts it right there. Okay, and that is going to define where the site will break our display, and then the blog reader, the person who's visiting the site and reading this blog post, will now click a read more button to get the rest of the content. And that's how that's done. Okay, so now I'm going to go down here and I'm going to save our blog post. And we get a preview here of it. So that's nice. That's how it's going to appear. It's looking good. Something to notice here is you get a edit, and so you can go back and edit the blog post, and a translate tab as well. So here you could add a translation if you wanted. We've, I think theoretically here, submitted one in English, but if you want to add a French translation, you would select that Add Translation button, and you would come down here and you would translate all this text into French, including the title, and then hit Save. That's how you would do that. But let's just go back for a minute. Just going to navigate back, and let's view our preview of the blog post again. Something to note here is that if we go into the actual blog now, well, where is it? It hasn't been published, and that's because the site reviewer has to go through the approval queue and approve your blog post for publication before it's released. So you won't see it here immediately, and if you want to go back and make any other edits to it, and now you've lost that preview page, well, where is it? So there are a couple of ways to, and the answer is it's at your account, and there are a couple of ways to access your account, and one of them is right here through the side menu. You can access My Account here, and there's My Account. Or another way to access your account from the home page is, here's another link, My Account. Okay, but always under any of these tabs there's a My Account link here in the sidebar. Now, so here's my account, and I've submitted that blog post, and here are my unpublished contributions. So I can click through here, and I can see my sample blog post. Let's click through that, and now there I am again. I can go in, I can edit my blog post, make my changes, come down here and save them. Or if I've decided, you know, I've changed my mind, I don't really want to submit that blog post to the site, I can delete it as well. Okay, so that's really all there is to it. A few important things to note: how to define the teaser, as I just pointed out, and that's the section that's going to, let me show you here under one of the blog posts to show you how that's working. So here's one, Aboriginal Stories, and now this is the teaser here, but if I want to read more, I have to click through and then I get the full story. So this initial part from here on up is what the teaser was, and that's how that works. Okay, so let's just go back quickly again to my sample blog post. If you need to embed something like a video in a blog post, here we are. I'm just going to take the first video I see here. Now there's this embed option, and it would be the same at YouTube. You would snag whatever embed code there is and highlight it and Command C to copy. And I'm going to go back to my blog post now, and let's just say we wanted to tack on this video at the end. You would want to select source here. So let's select source, and now it's changed everything to the HTML. We can see now the HTML that's generating our blog post. And then I'm just going to Command V or Control V to paste in on a PC. And let's just save that change. And now let's see. Aha! And there it is. There's our embed. All right. I think that's all there is to say about adding a blog post. If you have any further questions, please contact us in the About section under Contact, and we would be happy to help you. You can just send us a message here.